So, what if I told you that one of the most common health goals out there, losing weight, could actually be making your life shorter? It sounds crazy, I know, but today, we're going to dive into a crucial and honestly an often overlooked secret to longevity that has almost nothing to do with that number you see on the scale.
Let's just start with that big, provocative question right off the bat, because it probably challenges everything you've ever been told about health. Can losing weight actually shorten your life? I mean, come on. We're always told that a lower number on the scale is the holy grail, the key to living longer, right?
Well, the answer is a shocking yes. But here's the catch. It's only when the weight you lose is muscle. Think about this for a second. Some of these popular new weight loss drugs can cause you to lose an amount of muscle that's equivalent to a decade of aging. That doesn't just make you weaker, it makes you way more fragile. And to really get why, we need to completely rethink what muscle is actually for. Okay, so to understand this, we've got to reframe how we see our muscles. They're not just for lifting heavy things at the gym. Your muscle is literally your body's most valuable asset. It's your protein bank, and it's a bank that silently starts to lose its savings way earlier than you'd ever guess. You know, this whole process actually has a clinical name: sarcopenia. It's just a fancy term for age-related muscle loss. And what's truly shocking isn't that it happens, but when it begins. This isn't some old age problem. For most of us, this silent decline kicks in during our 30s, and it just slowly picks up speed with every year that goes by. So, just how severe are we talking? Well, on average, by the time a person hits 80 years old, they will have lost about 50% of their total muscle mass. Let that sink in. Half. That is a staggering number, and it has absolutely profound consequences for your health. And that brings us to this really powerful way of thinking about it. Your muscle is like a savings account, but it's filled with protein instead of money. So when you face a real health crisis, a bad illness, a serious injury, a major infection, your body has to make a withdrawal. It needs that protein to fuel your immune system and to heal itself. The more muscle you've built up, the bigger your emergency fund is. And this really shows us that muscle is about so much more than just brute strength. It's our metabolic engine. It's what regulates our blood sugar. It's the primary fuel source for our immune system. It even powers our brain, believe it or not, because the very neurotransmitters we need for cognitive function are built from protein. It's involved in pretty much every single system that keeps us healthy and alive. Okay, so if muscle is this vital, and it absolutely is, what in the world is destroying it? Well, the source material for this explainer points to three main enemies of your muscle. So, muscle killer number one is, you guessed it, inactivity. Just not moving, being sedentary, is the absolute worst thing you can do. Now, on the flip side, the number one secret to reversing this whole decline is resistance training. It's not just about any movement. It's about creating a specific stimulus that forces your muscles to adapt, to grow, and ultimately to protect you. Now, the other two killers are just as crucial. First up is poor sleep. And this might surprise you, but a lack of good sleep can drain your muscle mass even faster than a bad diet can. Why? Because all your repair and recovery happens at night. And second is not getting enough protein. It's simple, really. You can't build a brick house without bricks, and protein is the raw material for your muscle. Okay, so we've identified the problem, we know what causes it. The good news is you can totally fight back. So let's get into the solution. Let's talk about a clear, actionable blueprint for rebuilding your body's most valuable asset. So this rebuilding plan, it really stands on three core pillars. First, you've got to have the right stimulus. That's your resistance training to signal your body to build. Then, you need the right raw materials, which comes from your diet. And finally, you need the right supporting nutrients to make the whole process run smoothly and efficiently. Let's just tackle that diet pillar head-on by busting a huge myth that's out there. So many people, especially as they get older, are told to avoid red meat. Well, the source for this explainer is crystal clear on this. That is a total lie. High-quality protein is absolutely non-negotiable for building and maintaining muscle.
Now listen, it's not just what kind of protein you eat, it's also how you eat it. The key is to prioritize those high-quality sources and then spread your intake across the day so you have a steady supply. And hey, if you find that meat is hard to digest, it could just be a sign of low stomach acid, something a simple supplement can help with. And don't forget collagen. About 30% of your muscle is actually made of collagen, so it's a key structural piece.
And finally, let's talk nutrients. You can kind of think of them in two main groups. First, you've got your foundational support. Things like magnesium, vitamin D, and zinc. These guys help with everything from sleep and recovery to just basic muscle function. Then you've got your energy converters like CoQ10 and B vitamins, which help your body actually use the protein you're eating to build new muscle.
So we've covered exercise, we've covered diet, and we've covered nutrients. But there's one more surprising piece to this puzzle. It's a really fascinating secret, and it's hidden deep inside your gut, and it could dramatically speed up your results.
Meet L. reuteri. It's a very specific gut microbe with some incredible benefits. Research shows it can actually increase your number of muscle stem cells. But here's the really amazing part. It also boosts oxytocin, which lowers stress, and it improves sleep, which means it's directly fighting two of those muscle killers we talked about earlier.
And the personal result from the author of our source material is just wow. He reported gaining 6 pounds of pure muscle just by adding this one microbe. Get this, without changing anything else about his diet or his exercise routine. That's a stunning testament to the powerful connection between our gut and our strength.
So we end up right back where we started, but now, hopefully, with a totally new perspective. Muscle isn't about vanity. It's not about how you look in the mirror. It is your biological savings account for a long, healthy, resilient life. It's the reserve you're going to draw on when you need it most. So the final question is pretty simple. Are you investing enough?